Okay. Okay, if you're here now and you can hear me now, just put a one in the comments. Just put a one in the comment if you can hear me now. Okay, Afis, thank you. Let's give minutes so that others will join us. How was your day, Hafix? I trust you had an excellent day and hope you're catching up with what we're doing. Okay. Okay, please. I just hope they tune in quickly. Our time is spent already. All right, let's go. Okay, thank you, Afix. That's good. That's good to know. Um, Felix, thank you. Good evening to you too. Good evening to you too. Okay, I think if we have two persons here, we move on. If we have two persons here, we go. Okay. All right, very quickly, let's look at the design that I have that I have here, and I must say that the person tried, but one thing that I didn't, or one thing I feel should be corrected here is buy gets allocation build instantly. The font, I don't know, the font is actually not telling well, except if this is created for a brand and the brand present that to you as their choice of font is fine, but it looks the font isn't looking healthy. This very instant allocation. Otherwise, I think every other thing here is cool, and see the address to and the phone number. These are important um contents in this very design that needed to be prioritized after what's it called flag says blah blah blah, and this the telephone number. Somebody don't have to strain his or her eyes to see those telephone numbers. So I think this person tried, but I'm only just giving my own kind of critic in order for the person to improve next time. But otherwise, the design is okay. And I learned that the person here, I think is Ebuka, said that he was explaining the process that he used in achieving this test wrap using WAP2. Let me show us something quickly. There is a better approach to it. Sorry, let me open a new page so that I show that to us quickly. There's a better approach to it. Now, if I have okay, if I have a word like Let me give it a black color. Okay. Glory. Glory. And okay, sorry. If I have a word like this, let me use a better font so it's not looking here or there. Okay, if I have, or let me use impact. Let me use impact so that it will be good. If I have a word like this, now what this person did was to come here and use one of these transform parts, which is this very WAP to probably, I think probably converted this to, before you do that you have to convert, you have to rasterize this or convert it to um um a pixel, because it's in vector now, and you can't actually execute some certain things on it. So but I think the easiest way to do that is to you come to type menu and look for WAP tests. Okay, let's look at WAP test. Then under this style field, we have none there. Then you can click on it to select the kind of style that you want to do. Like this, an arc. If you choose this arc, for instance, you see, so you have to, play around all these the bend, wherever, and horizontal distortion, vertical distortion. You see, you have to play around it to get what you want. Okay, you can always play around this to get what you want. Or okay, I think this is the simplest and the easiest way out. So another, then you can, okay, let me cancel that. Then you can choose, and if that is not what you want, or that's not meeting with what you want, you can always choose. You can always choose another one, like arc lower, arc upper, arc lower. You see, so you can always play around the stuff to see what works for you, or you choose whatever, whichever you feel. So one thing I always tell people is that you must learn to play around with things in order to get used to the things. That's what I do. I'm the kind of person who's not always stuck. So every day I want to find out more, I want to get more. So all these things I want to see what works for me. But I think majorly what I use here is what I use here, I think, yeah, I'm not sure I've used this. Arc is what I use mostly. Arc is what I use mostly, but most times I don't bother doing this. Why? Because there are some free resources online that you can actually download that will help you with all these things. All you need to do is to change the text they have there, and you know make it your own test. Then you import it here, and that's it. It will be more beautiful. But in my own teachings, I always advise people, when you are going for resources online, let it not be on the ground that you are unable to do it. Learn how to do it first. But you are going for me, I go for all those resources in order to save myself time, not that I can't do it. Okay, so this is the accurate method to achieve what the person did. Okay, we are still on that. Okay, we're still on that. And another question that I saw as I was looking at the group today, which I felt the person wanted to know, was, I think when you're talking about the person needed to remove, I don't know, this circle or something, and someone was advising that he uses what's it called, I think, whether lasso tool or whatever, or pen tool or whatever. Now in this case, if this thing is, let me remove the let me unlock the background so that I'll be able, in my own way, I believe that whatever you want to do with Photoshop is possible if you know your way around it. So there are so many things that works. Like the method I will apply, and I may not be the same method that will work for another person. Okay. So now if me I want to remove something like this, what I just do, since it's a cycle, if I want to use polygonal lasso tool or whatever to trace a cycle, is the possibility of getting a perfect stuff is very, very, very tiny. So what I do, I just draw my what's it called? I just draw my circle around it. Since it's a cycle, then I reduce the opacity. You can use number to reduce opacity. You can use let me try number 6. Okay, number 9. Okay, number 9 is fine. I just want to be able to see that. Then I scale it down to that size. Just scale it down to that size. Let's go. Just scale it down to that side and move it to be sure that it fits in. Then let me expand because there are some parts. Okay, beautiful. Then I hope everyone is following. So then in this case, the next thing I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to now. I told us about layer the last time we had a class. Now these are layer. I have two layers here. Now the flyer that I imported here forms one layer because I didn't import the source file. I imported a JPEG file. Then the cycle that I drew there forms another layer. So there are two layers now. So now what I want to do now is that the reason why I put that cycle there is that I want to use that cycle to define a particular area of the flyer of the image that I want to cut out. It would have been possible to use your ellipse Mark II, but you still have some difficulties doing that. Now, what I want to do is drawing a circle around it is more flexible for me. Now, what I want to do like now is now I have succeeded in using this cycle to determine to define an area in this image that I want to cut out. I either want to copy it out or I want to cut it out. So in this case, what I would do is I'm going to click the image layer, which is the flyer layer, the one at the bottom. Then I'll hold my control. Now this I'll go to the circle layer. Then I see this little thumbnail. I'm seeing this little thumbnail at the bottom of that layer. Okay, so I'll just hold my control down and I click there. So automatically you see there's a selection around that particular cycle right now. So which means if I cut or copy, it's going to take out that particular portion. So now that I've selected, let me close the visibility of this circle layer. You see, so I can now use my Control X. You see now, as I use Control S, it just took it off seamlessly, like or without much stress. So I can decide to paste it and put it somewhere else. So I can move this right now. You see, so simple, so simple. But I suggest when you are designing, import all your elements separately so that you can have separate layer for everything. For instance, you can source for a house, a building, and you create this cycle banner by yourself and do all those stuff by yourself. You see, so that's for, I believe that's for this particular design. That's for this particular design. So if the person who did this is here and you have further question, just state it in the comments. I'll state it in the comments. I'll give attention to it. I want us to quickly look at it before we go to something else. Then this one, I think a movie poster. This is not bad. This is not bad. The font is not bad. The arrangement is not bad. The background is not bad. The victory is from God alone. Okay, not bad. Let's leave this alone. That person Aoga. Then this. Okay, let's go. This I think. nice concept, but there is improper arrangements, and the choice of some certain fonts here are not too are not too nice. Like this particular font for what's it called, the address, activities, and the dates. The arrangement of the dates is not too fine, so you can do. And this flare lens that is just placed here, I think it's job. The flare lens is jobless here. It's not doing any. It's not doing anything there. And this presents stranded. Then I think that just all. You just needed the proper arrangement. And um okay, I have some comments. Jeez, I'm just joining. Okay, Francis, we just starting. On that. Frank Six, David, you're the one who did that design. Okay, I don't know. Probably you will have to watch the beginning part of this video again to actually get. Now, what I've actually said is that the buy get allocation build instantly font is not that healthy. It's not that healthy. Or which design did you do? Is it the movie poster? You just have to watch this video again, like the beginning part, so that you get what we're saying. So we have to move on. So I'm done with this. Then this one, I have quarrel with not the designer but the design itself. Number one, the background is too, I don't know. I'm not liking the background, and the arrangement of text and the picture, everything is just placed however and wherever. So I think there has to be a proper arrangement. Number one, this is a party, or rather a club flyer. So you have to look for source for inspirations. First of all, study how I mentioned this the last time. Study how a background, I mean, a party flyer is being designed. So from there you can also get idea. But the background, the overall this need to be worked on. Um, this picture in particular, which of them? Just call the title of the design. David, call the title of the design so that I know. Then which one? Okay. This is not bad. This is not bad, but the fade in here didn't work too much. The fade on this side didn't work too much, but I think this design is not too bad. And the features, blah 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 blah. I think when you use a better font and a better spacing for these words, and it's too close to the edge. And meanwhile, there is a negative space, a very huge negative space at the middle here. That here can even size, you know, this half plot of land is here. So, and this one is very close to the. Now, one thing I want us to also note is how to you okay the real estate. Uh, Please, I ask why we convert to objects and rasterize. Okay, I will answer that, Felix. I will answer that. Real estate buy, build, allocate. Okay. Few things like just some tests there are not healthy. The telephone number, the address were just too small. So one will have to strain his eye to see those stops, and the line at the topmost. You know, the choice of font there, except the brand decide on that. The choice of the choice of font there is not too it's not too healthy. Like it's not too strong. It's looking like, let me use the word, like a China font. It's looking like a China font. Okay. So then I have illustrated. I think you're also asking how to get rid of, how to take that cycle off, that cycle badge off. I illustrated that. You just have to go back there. If I want to explain that now, I have to go and practicalize again. So, but when we're done with this class, you go back You go back there to go and fix that. So like I was saying here on this design, there is, let me draw something so that everybody will see. Okay, now you see this particular space. You see this particular space. Now this all these kind of spaces, they are called empty spaces or negative spaces. So in your design, you must learn to kill negative spaces. Now I want to show us something. Now there's what's called, if this design was to be printed now, it would have been rejected. Why? Because after printing, now let me show us, let me open my ruler, let me show us something. Now let me open a line here, a ruler here, then a line here, then a line here, then a line here. Now what did I just do? In design, there is what's called trim. There's what's called bleed and trim. Those are the edges of your design that you are willing to sacrifice. The reason why I use the word willing to sacrifice is that, when it's printed and they want to trim the design, automatically the trimming machine will cut out some words. Why? Because they are too close. They are too close to the extreme ends. They are too close to the extreme ends. So when you are designing, always learn to move your test away from the extreme, the edges of your paper size. It don't like it's not professional. And if that design happen to be printed, they will cut out. That's why you see, if you go to printing press, sorry, those days while I was just starting up, I experienced that a lot. Then after they printed the flyer, now when they are now trimming the edge of the design, they will cut out some words. And at the end of the day, you will have problem with the owner of the job, and you will have problem with your own self. Why? Because it is just not professional. Okay, so you must learn to respect the rules of design. So these are too close to the edges. Meanwhile, there is a negative space at the middle, which we have been able to bring the one at the right closer, then the one at the left closer, in closer, and the both of them maybe meet at the middle with maybe a tiny line dividing each column. You see now. So that is for that. So just fix that. And I said again, the fade in here, didn't work. If I was the one who did this design, I would have allowed this building to spread across the top. It would have been more beautiful. Then the white color on the real estate logo, if it's going to clash with the background and it won't make it pronounce well, then you change that white to black or to whatever color. There's a way you can do that. I would have spread this across. Then I will blend the bottom of the building to the background. Then you see the beauty of it. You see the beauty of it. So I think that's all. That's for that. I'll take this off. That's for that. I've sized that one already. Then first of all, this one, I was liking this particular design. Oga did a good job. But the only thing that I see here is that these things are too close to the extreme end here. Why there are negative design? It could be a concept, but excess of when negative spaces are too much, it doesn't go well. So try and fill up all these spaces. If you moved all these things backward, they will fill all these spaces a little bit. So that just that for this. Otherwise, this design is good. Even as it is now, you can see it will fly. It will fly. All right. So this is good. So good job. I think I need to give that guy a job to do for me. All right. Then this one, this one, I must say this tests, this style of this test, blah blah blah, audacious cashback. Now, I understand that this person actually downloaded this test effect. Then replace his words and all that. But I think the design is the design is beautiful. The design is beautiful. Okay, it's okay. The design is beautiful. Then okay, I think that's it. That's it for this. That's it for this. Okay, so on and so forth. Very quickly, let's do something. What are we gonna do today? Now, are we here? Do anybody? Okay, I think I have a question here. Say, please. I ask, what do we convert to objects and rasterize? Now, why you now? If I draw let me draw a shape. Let me draw a shape. Now, in this shape, this shape is this is a vector shape. Now, when I insert a shape like this, is in a vector state. Now, in this vector state, there are some certain certain actions that cannot be executed on this shape as it is here right now. Now, let's say, for instance, if I want to use my polygonal lasso to blend it to background. Now, let me give it a feather of whatever, whether 10 or 20 or whatever. Once I click on delete, you see, if you say you cannot completely delete because the content layer is, you understand. So you discover that there is no way. I don't know. It may show you this, or it will just delete the cycle off automatically. So in order for you to do some certain things with this, now what you need to do is to rasterize. Now, the process of rasterizing, we convert this vector shape to pixels. You convert it to pixels so that you'll be able to do some certain things on it. Let me increase it. Let me increase it a bit. Then let me make a duplicate so that I will not have to go over you drawing again. Now, like I said before, if I want to use my, what's it called? Let me use my rectangular mark to cut some part off. Now, if I want to cut that part of that particular part, now if I click on delete, you see it's impossible. It's just impossible to do. It won't work. So now, I rasterize it, now just like okay, let me use a very simple description for this. Now, if somebody give you a knife and say divide this water into two, there is no way you can divide water into two. So let me just say, in a layman term, that as a vector shape is in a water state whereby you can't really do some certain things with it. All right. So in order for you to be able to use knife to cut water, if it is compulsory, what you need to do is to freeze the water where is frozen to a solid state. When it becomes a block, so what you do, you can use your knife or cutlass or whatever to cut it when it becomes a block. So that just the simplest illustration or explanation that I can give for that. Now, if I rasterize this right now, where's rasterize? If I rasterize this, okay, sorry, let's convert it to a smart object, then rasterize. Now, if I rasterize it, now let me use this um Oga to cut it. You see, I was able to cut it at ease. But meanwhile, if it's in a vector state, you cannot achieve that. So if I answer your question, just let me know. Just let me know in the comment if that is clear. Okay, if that is clear, let me know. Let me pin your question. Okay. So this is the question. This is what we're dealing with. So I hope I've explained that. So the same thing with test. Now let me use for instance, let me use Bebas or Go Bold. Let me use Go Bold High. Go Bold High. Let me use Go Bold High. Or let me use Bebas. Sorry. Let me use Bebas. Bebas can still go. Then I don't want too much spacing. Okay. Now, if I want to give this particular word a shadow effect, if I want to give it a shadow effect, automatically, just hold on. I like yours. I'll give me some minutes. I'll call you back. Just some minutes. Okay, now if I want to give this, okay, if we rasterize it, is it same as conversion to bitmap in CorelDRAW? As you see me, so like I'm not a CorelDRAW person. No, I don't know anything about. I don't know about CorelDRAW, but I think it should be the same. I've used It's a yes question answered. Rasterizing comes with more functions. Yeah, correct. How then do we rasterize? Okay, first of all, before I go there, let me answer Francis. I'm not. I've never used CorelDRAW to such an extent. I can't even remember the year I opened for CorelDRAW last. So all my design experience for the past 6 to 8 years now has been Photoshop. So I think the ball. I'll find out and I'll let you know. I'll find out and I'll let you know. So you say yes, question answered. Rasterize come with more functions. Yes. Say how then do we rasterize? Very, 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 very simple. Now let me use this as a case study. This test as a case study. Now, once you have selected the elements you want to rasterize, the shape or test, you can rasterize shape, you can rasterize test. Okay, so sorry, excuse me. So the best thing to do right now, or the next thing to do, just come to the easiest way. Just come to the layer. Are you seeing on your right hand side? Come to the layer, right click on the layer. Then it will give you it will pop out these options. So what you need to do, you see rasterize type, rasterize type. Then I'm going to rasterize the type. Just so all of a sudden the test is rasterized now, which means like this test, you can't use your test tool. You can't use your test tool to work on this test anymore because the test has been rasterized. So it's now in pixels, like I said before, in a solid state. So which means I cannot use my polygonal lasso tool, highlight this thing, then I give it a feather of like maybe 100. Give it a feather of like 100. Then you see now, I cannot blend this glory to the background. You see, I cannot blend it to the background because because I rasterize it. Is no more in a canal state. Sorry to say that. It's no more in a vector or normal text state as this one is. So like a nice block that I illustrated with for I frozen that one now. Okay, so that is that's that's for that. That's for that. Okay, Francis, thanks. Please also, what's the meaning of smart? The meaning of smart objects and why do we convert to smart objects? I'll answer that. Rema, please leave there. Come, go on. Why leave that in, please, so that it doesn't enjoy you. Okay. 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 Now, smart objects, they are in Photoshop. Smart objects are layers that contain data from either a raster or a rasterized image or a vector image. It's just a layer that contains image data. Image data. Now, for instance, if I want to do let me open another okay. Okay. So if I create a cycle, if I create a cycle right now, then I right click and convert to smart object. So you discover that the thumbnail here on the layer has actually changed. So which means this thing contains image data, some certain image data. Now, in a situation whereby I want to clone put a picture, power clip a picture to this thing. What I need to do is just to double click on this thumbnail. Now, this thumbnail, you need to understand thumbnails. Now, this thumbnail here on this layer shows that this is a smart object. Now if I double click this now, it will open this thing to me on another layer. Then I can put something inside of this place. Let me look for let me okay let's put this image. Let's put this image. Let me put this image here. Okay, the thing is so small. Let me put this image here. So this will enable you to perform some certain editing in your layer. So now let me put this in here. Then let me save. Control S, save. Now let's come here. Now this didn't work. Sorry, this didn't work. This didn't work. It ought not to. Didn't work. Okay. So let me so on and so forth. So any what's it called? Another thing you need to know about converting to a smart object. Any layer you convert to smart object, you can work on that layer. You can work on that layer separately. You can do a certain edit on that layer separately, just as I did on this one now. Now I needed to insert this in. So once when I double click this, it took me to another tab and I open it on another tab entirely. So these smart objects are able to stand on their own as layers that they contains image data. You understand? So that is that's how you can also google some things for yourself to understand certain things. But that's in Photoshop. That's not the easiest or the best way to do a power clip. A power clip in Photoshop. I'll show us that before we round up today's class. Okay. Okay, changing. I like this class. One of they ask me questions. It's a changing a text to rasterized one. We can't edit the text, right? No, you can't edit the text again with your text tool. So what if I want to re-edit the text? Is there an easy way to undo? An easy way to undo, just to click Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z till you get back. It gets back to normal text. Okay. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z till you get back to normal text. I've not practicalized because before I rasterize a text to a particular, I mean to before I rasterize a particular text, what I do once I'm done with the design or blah blah blah, I make sure I save a copy of that test. Like I just use, if it's a group test whereby is about 3 or 4 tests that I'm doing together, then what I do is that I will use I will group them together, duplicate the group, then close one group, so that just in case something go wrong with the one I'm using, so that I will not go back, starting from the scratch to rearrange, to resize and do all that. I will go and open the one the one that I hid before, that I duplicated before. You understand? So then I'll go on with that one. So is that all? So therefore, like I was saying, if I want to give this a shadow, I can decide to use. Okay, let me see. I can decide to come to let's use perspective. Let's use where's perspective? Okay, it's not giving us perspective option. Let me see. Okay, it's not giving us perspective option. Now, if I duplicate this, and I want to make one a shadow, then I will only need to flip one vertical. Click. How to do that is click it, any of the icon point, click it, then right click it again. It will give you this option. Then flip vertical. Now let me bring one down, down, down. Let me bring one. Okay, it should touch the other side. Then this one, let me rasterize this type. Then I think it should give us perspective option now. Correct. Now you see the power of rasterize. Now when we didn't rasterize, they didn't give us we could not perform perspective transform on it. Now that we rasterize it, we can perform this now. Then let's use rasterize and let me expand it a bit. Let me expand it a bit. You see, then after that, the next thing that I'm gonna do, I may want to select some parts. Then let me blend it. It's too much. Let me blend some part of it to the background so that to look pro. Then okay, 100%. Okay, let's go with 100%. Let's go with 100%. Okay, you see, this is what we've got. Like now, it's as if there is a sun ray at the back of the glory. Now it has given it a shadow. So it's looking so real now. It's looking so real now. Let me check for questions. Is a converted to bitmap encoded draw is as good as converting to image in CorelDRAW. Okay, that's good. I will have to learn that CorelDRAW. What is it, boss? I'm a fan of Photoshop. So rasterizing is not the same as bitmap. It's not the same as bitmap in CorelDRAW. Okay, all right. Now, so that's that. So on and so forth. So we've been able to look at rasterize, and this is what we've been able to achieve. This is the word. Let me style this a bit. This is the word glory. Let me see if I can give it a good. No, 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 no. Okay, okay. Then I can make this black. Black is fine, Jerry. Okay, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. So do we have any other question? So like I said before, I was talking about power clipping. I think it's called power clip in CorelDRAW. That's what I'm calling it, power clip. Now let's assume I have a cycle. I have a cycle. Then no, this thing is not sharp. The size of that canvas is too small. Then let's assume I have a cycle. Let's assume I have a cycle. Then let me introduce an image. Okay. Okay, if I want to put this image inside this cycle, then I have to paste the image there because I have copy, Control A to select, or Control C to copy, and Control V to paste. Now, if I have this thing like this, are we here? So please, how did you flip the glory? Okay, I have flipped the glory. How did you flip the word glory? No? How did you flip the glory? Sounds strange. Okay, let me write it again. Glory. Okay. Okay. Now here's the word glory. Then if you want to flip, first of all, you have to make a duplicate. You have to make a duplicate, and the shortcut for that duplicate is Control J. Control J to duplicate that glory, and the other one is on top. The other one, then the one at the top is the one you want to flip. Then what you do? Let me come to image. Then image. You see image rotation. Under image menu, you see image rotation, and under image rotation, come to flip canvas. No, 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 no. Sorry, that's talking about the entire canvas. It's supposed to be layer. Where is it? I've used short key all my life for this. So let me use short key, Jerry. Now, once you click, you see this anchor point. I told us these things are called anchor points. Now once we have selected this, click here again. Click any of the anchor points again. But I use the one at the middle. Click it again, and you see it will expand now. Then come here again. Right click on it. Right click on it, and you are going to see flip vertical. Flip vertical. It has flipped vertically now. Then you move it down. Wait, man, check where that flip horizontal and vertical did that time. Then type Giddy. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, so that's it. Have you gotten that now? The non flip glory is the word. Okay, so that's that. So any other question then we look at. So if you've gotten that, that's fine. I believe you know how. And then after which I rasterize this down one. The reason why you have to flip it because it has to face downward now because it is a shadow. Because it is a shadow. Then then that's that. That's that. Then I can close this now. Then I will quickly explain this. Then maybe we'll call it a night here today. Okay, so these are important things. Now, like I said, as I have this above the circle layer now, the next thing to do, like I want to clip this inside. There's a way they do it in CorelDRAW. It's called, I think they say place in container or something like that. So now I want to place this image in this cycle container. What I will do, I make sure the image is above the cycle layer, the image layer. Then I click the image layer. Then I hold my control. Then locate the cycle. This is the cycle layer. This is cycle layer right now. Then I'm locating this small thumbnail that is here. While I'm holding my control down, I click on this thumbnail. So automatically you see what the command I've just given to Photoshop right now is that it should cut in the shape and in the size of this cycle. So now he has drawn it for us now that this is where the cycle follow. Now the next thing we want to do is to come to polygonal lasso tool, then come here, right click, and in this option um select inverse. Okay, now what select inverse means is that the outer part of the initial selection is the inverse, which means from this line down, everything that is not inside this circle is the inverse. Then if I'm selecting the inverse, which means I'm giving Photoshop an instruction that instead of sacrificing this part of the image, I want this other part of the image sacrificed. So leave this out of the selection, then flip it to the other side. Then you cannot click on your delete. You see it's gone. You see, you can click on your delete. You see it is gone. Very gone. Extremely gone. Okay. So then another way that I may want to do this in order to make it more beautiful is this. Now I want to bring his head out of the cycle. Let me take his head out of the cycle. And we want to take his head out of the cycle. Then the next thing to do, the same process, I select the picture layer, then locate the the cycle layer. Then while I'm holding my control, hit on the thumbnail, then take my polygonal lasso tool. Then in this case now, what I did that first one was I have to right click, then select inverse. But in this case, we are going to use another system because you see the head is outside the cycle, which means if we select inverse now and delete, it's going to chop out a part of his head. So the first thing I want to do here is to, as I've selected my polygonal lasso tool, now I want to, now look at this place. This is add. This is subtract from selection. Add to selection, subtract to selection. Now I've chosen add to selection. I want to add this his head to the selection. What I do, I just click on this place, then I just select round. You see now it has selected above the head. Then if I now use now right click now and select inverse, it's only going to cut out the down the down of the suit. You see, so we which we bring his head out of the cycle. So we makes it beautiful again. We make it beautiful and stylish again, instead of just putting the picture inside like as the usual blah 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 blah. But like this, you can just bring the head of the person out, and it gives you a beautiful stuff. Okay, so that is that. How many people are here? Wow. It's the gradient you applied to the glory. How did you get it, sir? The gradient. Did you join? Okay, you didn't join our first class. Okay, let me open that again. Let me open that again. Let me open that again. Where is the glory? Glory. No, no, no. Sorry, I think this is okay. I'm coming. I'll show that to us now. Then I'll run along to do some silly things. Now, what I did there was that I just click on the glory. I have gradient styles here that I have saved already. I taught us how to save, how to do your own gradient styling, and you save the gradient styling. So now what I did was I just click on the one I've already saved. It will just apply on the selected layer. Otherwise, what another thing that I can do is to select here, select the layer, the word, then I come to layer. Now, when you want to apply an effect to a single layer, you select the layer and you use this. You come through this layer menu. If you want to affect it on the entire design, on the entire Canva, then you come to image. Now, I'm going to start that alone. Then only going to come here to layer style. Then I select my gradient overlay, layer style. Then I select my gradient overlay. Okay, it will open right now. So you see, by default, I don't know, gold is there, but if I open my gradients box here, I'm only going to select this color stop, then change the whatever color that I want it. Then this last one, let me just select that same green. Then this middle one, I can just select green and go for a lighter green, and so on and so forth. I can add another color stop to it. I can just put another color stop. Just click on the area you want to add a color stop, but I don't want to add. I love when it's three, a lighter color at the middle. Then I can do my adjustments just to make sure I get what I want. Click enter upon enter upon enter upon enter. So that's just it. We're done. That's it. We're done. In a test aspect, do you have a particular type skill system you apply to your design? I don't understand. Felix, be clear. I think that's the last question. I'll just give attention to now, so that I can give attention to my child. So be very clear with your. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Be very clear with your question, please. Pin message. So maybe let me pin this. Your question is the last one we are going to do today. The last one we're going to give attention to today. Then we'll move. For those of us that are just joining, you're welcome. So Felix, can you type quickly so that I know there is a delay in transmission, but just help me type quickly so that um, we call it a night. Okay, I'm still trying to understand the question. Okay, I pin another thing, Jerry. It's in the test aspect. In the test aspect, do you have a particular type skill system you apply to your design? Okay, as much as I can understand the question, I do not have a particular scale or whatever type of fonts that I use. Like I said the other day, I try out, certain things. Most importantly, when I see a content that I want to create a design with. First of all, I try to figure out some few things in my head. Number one, is it now what kind of design is this? What industry, and so on and so forth. Then I picture what is gonna work, and even what I pictured in my mind. If I try that and it didn't work, the next thing I do, I change it immediately to look for maybe one or two things or other things that will work. So there is no particular thing in design. And as a graphic designer, one thing we must learn to do, we must be very versatile. We must be very, very versatile. Like, we must our mind must be open to ideas. Our mind must be open to ideas. All right. So thank you so much. Francis, what did you say? Boss, come and mentor me. Oga Francis, that's why we are here. Okay, that's why we are here. But God will help all of us all right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Tomorrow is 29. So tomorrow is the last day for this whole stuff, and we're going to be having a very important webinar tomorrow. There are so many things I want to share with us. Our priority here is to see how we give assistance to young individuals who want to step into the tech industry, to help them, to give them, to be able to stand their ground. And I keep telling the people around me, if you want to start on tech, there are so many things. There are so many things you need to know. So many things you need to know. If you don't, when you don't know them, when you bypass them, you have to keep on, repeating, a particular phase, a particular step, and you struggle with so many things. So we are going to be looking at all that tomorrow. We are going to be discussing all that tomorrow, and God will help us all. Okay, God will help us all. God will help us all. And before I call it a night, let me just quickly talk about the message that one of us posted on the group few minutes ago, saying, I actually understand this is a free class, but I believe we should all keep to time. We actually have a respective schedules. So many of us have to sacrifice many things for a slated time. So if we say a particular time, please let's kindly stick to it. Is If reasons beyond our control comes up, we could escalate to the theme as to the reasons why we may not hold as slated. Now, first of all, I try to understand if the person was actually referring to me or to other house members. First of all, if it was to me, the only thing I would just say about that is that now this is Nigeria, and we all know the situation of things. If I do my setup and electricity goes off, there is every tendency that I'm going to pause, then look for a way to put on my gen and do all that blah blah blah. But I don't think I don't think 20 minutes, away from the time, or 25 minutes or 18 minutes or thereabout away from the time we're supposed to start is a big deal. Now, if someone has prepared to be a part of the class, waiting for 18 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't think it is a big deal. So that for that. Okay, I'm saying this to say that I appreciate every one of us. So tomorrow we're going to have a straight talk, and it's going to be glorious. So many things that you don't know that you need to know. Thank you so much. And one thing I keep letting people know is that graphics design is one of the most lucrative business so far, in the world now. Okay, and a whole lot of people still struggle with certain things. But the truth of the matter is that when you lack information, you are lacking a whole lot. So, all right, so we are going to be, I'm going to be passing a whole lot of information to us tomorrow to round up the promise I made to give us a free class and all that. So God bless you. Thank you, Francis, David. Thank you, Hafiz. Thank you, who has joined. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, and some persons that maybe I didn't see their name because they didn't put a comment on the comment section. So thank you so much. We'll call it a night here. God bless you. Kingsley Orobosa is my name. Thank you. See you tomorrow.